I'm actually surprised you're still there. I thought you would have just gotten up and walked away.
I just walk away. Exactly. You know what? Bah humbug. I'll see you on Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever.
Happy holidays, Paul.
To you as well.
Yeah. It is holidays. This is the I don't care edition. No, this is the middle of the road. This is the connection between two working weeks of the world, but nobody really works this week. If you are in an office listening to this, I guarantee you're not working either. I remember when I was in a cubicle, we used to play who could do the least amount of work, and I was pretty good at winning.
It's important to find your skill, you know.
Yeah, and so that's why I went into blogging after it, because that's
I like it.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. Well, hopefully everybody had a good holiday, and we have the New Year's coming up. This is where my reminder here from, if you're listening to this in 1999, remember to turn off your machine because of Y2K. And so I thought this was a brilliant little background for reminders.
Technology will never fail us, Brad. I don't know what we were so worried about.
Coming from the guy that every time he moves his computer, he's afraid the microphone and webcam won't work because the ambient temperature affects your machine.
This is my new office, which has nothing in it except for this desk. The nice thing is it's smaller than the previous room, so I don't have that giant cavernous effect. But I think I'm going to angle the desk so that we can see the corner of the room, which is over here. But I just need to put some stuff up on the wall first, so it isn't like a empty hotel room or something, which is kind of what it looks like right now. But
I just keep waiting for room service to knock on the door to ask if you're still there.
Not today, honey. Not today.
Not today.
Oh, she came in anyway.
Yeah. A couple quick things here. We're winding down the tail end of our premium sale. I know many people keep asking when it ends, and I believe it ends here the 31st. So if you haven't signed up yet, definitely do it. Thurrott.com/Thurrott-premium, because we wanted to make that URL nice and easy. But this is, I believe, don't quote, but I believe the best sale for the year. And so if you're going to sign up, now is kind of like the ideal time to do that. So,
yep.
Yeah. Speaking of ideal things, Paul, how's that iPhone X?
It's pretty great. I mean, it has issues. I didn't write this in a review, but one of the things I was kind of thinking going into this is, it arrives and it's like, it's beautiful. And I'm like thinking, man, I just switched to Android. How much of a jerk would I look like if I wanted to use this thing full time? And I don't. The truth is, for all the flaws that my Pixel 2 XL has, and you could write a book about them, I still prefer it. I like the bigger screen size. The camera is slightly better. They're all actually kind of equal, except for low light photos where the Pixel really shines. But and the Face ID thing is garbage. And I've gotten a lot of pushback on that. This doesn't surprise me. People who like these kinds of phones tend to defend everything that Apple does and will insist that this thing works just fine. But I can demonstrate it for you if you want to see it in action. I mean, the general slowness of it and the tediousness of having to swipe up on the screen to open your phone is not great. And it's something that Apple could have avoided by putting the fingerprint reader on the back. And that really stinks on a number of levels. But the big one is that Apple already has the best fingerprint reader on the market. And it's tragic that they didn't just add it to this. They could have. But okay, whatever. Every phone has compromises. I mean, honestly, the screen is gorgeous. The design is gorgeous. The materials are premium. It's a beautiful product. I mean, it's a little bit like Surface Laptop. You kind of fall in love with it and you overlook its defects because it's just so beautiful. It is.
My
a
wife
nice
actually says the same thing about me.
I'm curious what the pros she sees in you are, but but okay. I'll talk to her about that someday. I'm curious, how did this happen? Did you lose a bet? Well, anyway.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, it's expensive. My daughter has an iPhone 6S and she approached me the other day. She's like, I want to get an iPhone 10. And I was like, no. And she says, well, you have one. And I said, well, I make more money than you do. And she says, well, I need a new phone. And I said, you're not getting a new phone, and it's astronomical when you kind of calculate how much these things really cost. And for someone like a teenager who is not going to take care of it, it makes no sense. And you can go right down the line. Like I look like, what does Apple sell right now for a refurbished iPhone on their site? The only thing they sell is an iPhone 6S. It costs like $465, I think was the price. You know, a new iPhone, whether it's an iPhone 7 or an 8, is several $100s. It's more, you know, in the $600 to $800 range, whatever it is. That's too much to hand to a kid like her, you know. And not that she's not a good kid or whatever, but I mean, that's a crazy amount of money. And so I asked her what was wrong with her phone, and there's a crack in the screen, and it's glitchy. Kind of the performance is kind of glitchy. But remember, it's a 6S. So I said, well, Kelly, you know, Apple was just discovered to be reducing the speed of older iPhones. I said, so here's what we can do. We'll get you a new screen. I think that costs about $100 or $79 or whatever the price is of that, and we'll replace the battery. And if that doesn't fix all your problems, I think it will. Let's reset it, and we'll just reinstall everything from scratch. I bet that phone will be like new for her, and that at a cost of say $200 to $300 versus, you know, $465 to $900 or whatever. So we might actually give that a shot. There's absolutely no way my child is getting an iPhone 10. It's ridiculous how expensive this thing is.
Yeah, if you have, and I know because I've done this, if you have one of those like iFixit shops near your cornfields where you live, when I got the iPhone, I think it was $110 to get the battery swapped, and they did all of it. So you got that.
Yeah, I'm going to give something like that. Yeah, well, actually, that's a good idea. Not go to Apple, right? You'll save a lot of money by finding a reputable third-party service.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I feel vindicated that I didn't buy this.
Well, I think you could justify it, like we've discussed. I mean, look, it is expensive. There's no way around it. And honestly, even for me as kind of a reviewer, I'm not sure it was a smart buy. And if you kind of want to say, look, you've got $1,000-ish to spend on Apple hardware, what's the best way for me to spend it? I mean, I could actually make a really good argument that it should have been on a Mac, because my Mac is much older. It's several years old now and needs to be replaced. And Macs are very expensive, and maybe I could get like just a regular MacBook or a low-end MacBook Pro or something, which would be more than the cost of the iPhone. But, you know, the iPhone I had wasn't all that old. And I don't know. You know, I just don't know. I feel like this thing is a transition. They're going to switch other products over to this design. There's going to be a second-gen version of this, probably with a bigger phone too. Will they scale back from the cliff of Face ID? No, they won't, because they're Apple. So, but they'll improve it, you know, and those improvements will only be in the next one. So, in many ways, like buying a first-gen anything, Apple or otherwise, isn't necessarily a great, you know, idea. It's certainly not an investment, as we might term it.
The only thing that tempts me about the phone, because I keep going back to it, it's like they have them now in stock at all the stores everywhere.
Yeah, you can get them.
Verizon will give me $100 off the MSRP and then $300 for my iPhone 7. So then it's like, it's not that much money. But the only thing, but the only thing is though, the only thing I like about the phone is that it's gonna have a better camera, which means better pictures of my kid. Like, I keep going back to is like, is it really worth it for marginally better photos? Because to your point, I like Touch ID, and I know everyone's like Face ID is great, but when I was at Dick's, when I bought my wife's a water bottle for Christmas, because you know we went all in, and I bought her a water bottle for Christmas. She liked it, by the way, but that's what she got.
Sure,
but
I would have put whiskey in it, but that's fine.
Yeah, I used Apple Pay, and you just tap it, and the phone is horizontal. And so, like, you'd have to have looked at it. And I just pulled it out of my pocket, double tapped it, and put it back in my pocket. Never looked at the phone.
I agree. It's a paradox. You know, it is the best facial recognition system I've ever seen on a phone. There's no doubt about it. But that's a really low bar, and it is still very inconvenient. And I don't know. There are always workarounds to things. I get that. I wrote this in my review. I mean, I'm kind of startled how often I've had to type in my full password, like not a PIN, but like an actual password on this phone. You know, compared to the previous, I used an iPhone full time for probably 3 years straight. I mean, Some of the stuff that people complained about, like the gesture learning curve, was not a big deal for me. Some of the stuff that people said was no problem, like Face ID or the notch, actually has been a concern for me. I mean, so, everyone's different, I know, but I don't know. I still think you'd like this phone. It
Well,
has
you
your
can ship
name
it to
written
me.
all over it.
You can ship it to me.
Yeah, it is fully unlocked.
Although that means it probably won't work on Verizon, I don't think.
No, it will work on everything.
Oh, will it?
Yeah, it's universal. Yep.
Speaking of reviews, I think I have you bested in the expensive toy department. So this is the NVIDIA Titan V. Paul, this was actually announced while we were in Hawaii. A simpler lifestyle when we were in Hawaii. Do you know the MSRP of this thing, Paul?
Well, no, I mean, it's going to be over $1,000 based on what you just said. No, I do not.
This is 3 iPhone X's.
Are you serious? Is that?
Yeah.
They have a thing like that costs that much? Is it actually made of gold? Is that what I see?
No, unfortunately not. It's actually a pretty ugly color, if I'm honest. So this is the Titan V. This is the top-end, super high-end graphics card from NVIDIA that you should never buy. For one thing, it's designed for It's designed for machine learning applications. It's got those tensor cores that Google loves to talk about, and I don't know if Microsoft talks about them or not. But it's basically designed for AI and machine learning applications. Actually, Ryan let me borrow this. He was foolish enough to buy one. And so I met him for lunch one day. I borrowed it, and I may not give it back.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's weird just knowing that something like a video card could cost that much.
This is like, if money's no object, this is like the equivalent of, I'm going to buy a Ferrari so I can go to the grocery store, right? Like there's no, you will get there very quickly and you will feel very good about yourself, but you will have no money or trunk space to put all your bananas in.
Right. Huh. Yeah, right. I mean, the truth is, except for very occasional usage, I don't even need a video card, to be honest. I mean, I could get by with integrated graphics for almost everything that I do.
Yep. The thing is it's better than a 1080 Ti, but it costs $2,200 more. And the gain in performance that you get for that additional $2,200, and this is, folks, only for gaming. You can go check out the full write-up. There's no way to justify this in any capacity. You could buy 2 NVIDIA 1080 Ti's, SLI them, and I bet you'd probably get better gaming performance than this thing. Because again, this isn't a gaming card; it's just a kick-ass machine learning card.
Well, I could find out. Well, no, I don't have TIs, I guess. I just think I just have GTX 1080s. I don't remember what I have.
Yeah. And
did you run benchmarks on this thing?
Yeah, I just played a bunch of games. Very grueling work. I did 3D Mark Time Spy, which actually you should run that.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I could run this same benchmark on this one. Yeah.
It's free. Go get Time Spy.
Yeah, no, I have it.
Yeah. I'd be curious actually to see what the performance is. I bet it's not too far off, actually.
Let's make that happen.
And then a couple other quick things here. Surface Pro with LTE is now available to everybody. You don't have to be a business. I don't know why they made that decision in the first place, but
right. Yeah, you knew that was going to change over time.
Paul, unless you're following me on Twitter, this is going to be, I believe, a world's first here. I'm going to walk up a little bit closer because I need the camera to be able to read the small label. So I was able to get my hands on a Microsoft exclusive product here. Let's see if you can figure this out. Can you read that name?
Nice.
Yes. So I don't think we've ever drank beer on the show, but I'm about to. So
it's 11:19 in the morning, right?
Are you judging me?
Well, usually, but
so I had no idea. My brother came over on Christmas. He's like, "Look at this beer I found," and so this is made by Ryan Geist, a local brewery. And for those who are listening on the audio, it's called Andromeda. So I am hands-on here with Andromeda. It is delicious. It is a pale ale. And I am drinking beer at 11:20 because I think this is the first day in a week that I haven't seen my in-laws, and it is glorious.
Yeah, we've had a constant cavalcade of people coming to the house that's not going to end until after the first, and that included my in-laws as well. And I love them. I do. Really, I do. But
yeah,
I just don't like having people in my house. Period.
Yep.
Especially family. They're the worst. But it's just it's nothing personal. I just well, yeah. I'm kind of a hermit, recluse type.
Never would have guessed.
Yeah, it's weird, but
all right. You got anything else for today, Paul?
No, I think. Well, I mean, I think today and or tomorrow I'm going to publish some top stories of 2017 type articles for Google and Apple, and then I got to talk to Tim about getting the top post of the year up as well. And my understanding is that shouldn't be too difficult to put together. So that's about it. And then, like I said, we got people, so I'm going to be distracted, especially over the weekend. What do you do for New Year's?
We go to a neighbor's house and get hammered.
Smart.
Yeah.
The only thing smarter than that is staying home and getting hammered, which is what I'll be doing. But we have, we usually have people over. So actually it's kind of fun. Like we've got friends from Boston who always come over on New Year's or coming here for New Year's. So that's cool. So we've got that. But actually we're doing this. Are we doing a show tomorrow? What's the schedule here?
Yeah, so we're going to do a show tomorrow. I don't think it'll be live. It's going to be more along the lines of, because, Paul, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's not exactly a lot of news kicking out these next 48 hours. I don't know why.
I have noticed. Yeah. I did actually post a news story today, though, kind of randomly. I heard from Ad Duplex, and they have the usage numbers on Windows 10. And as of this month, when the Fall Creators Update is actually on over 50% of all Windows 10 PCs.
That's actually
pretty quick. Yeah, pretty quick. It's 2 months. It was 20% after 1 month and then 50 after 2.
Very, very interesting. So tomorrow's shows will be mostly kind of, I guess, predictions for 2018. It's the last show of 2017. And I suspect there will be about 100% less beer, maybe.
Yes. Yep.
So that'll be it. With that, folks, I think we're just going to wrap it up here today. Hopefully you had a wonderful holiday. And if you're not going to catch us tomorrow, have a safe New Year's. And we'll catch you right back here next time on First Ring Daily.